The measuring tape out the way. Hello, hello. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. We are about to get started with our Bible study for today. Hello, hello. File on in, file on in. We are about to get started. So, welcome to the Bible study, where we read the King James Version of the Bible. This is my Bible. This is what it looks like. We read the King James Version of the Bible every single weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern. So, we do read the King James Version. I know a lot of people are not familiar with that version, but you don't have to worry about it. I go slow, we break it down so that we can digest it, we can understand everything, and we can stay on the same page together. So I'm very excited to get started and keep reading, keep discovering. We're learning a lot about the Bible itself as a history book. So we're learning about our history. We're learning about the character of God. We are learning about his standards for his people. We are learning a lot. So I'm excited to get started and to continue to learn and get more and more of an understanding. But before we get started, what we always do is we start with a prayer and then we do a recap for those who are just now joining us, or for anyone who hasn't joined us before and you want to catch up really quick to see where we are. So we do a recap and then we actually go right into reading. We are reading cover to cover, no skips. So we started in Genesis and we are reading up through Numbers right now. So we are still in the beginning stages of Numbers. Numbers has quite a few books to it. So we're still in the beginning stages of Numbers. And then we will continue to move on in order through the 66 books of the Bible. So we're having fun with it. We are pulling things out that, well, not we're pulling things out, right? But the Holy Spirit is pulling things out for us that we need to understand as far as like the standard that we want for our lives, how we can improve, all kinds of stuff. So we are about to go ahead and get started. But first, let's get started with our prayer first. So, Father God, in the name of Jesus, we are so grateful to have your word, to be able to read this word. We ask that you would please be with us as we read this word. We ask that you would open up our understanding. We ask that you will remove confusion, pull something out of this for our daily bread that we can take for our daily lives. And Father, most importantly, allow this Bible study to draw us closer to you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. All right, y'all. So let's get into this recap. Let's get into what's been going on in Numbers. So, in Numbers, so far, we have read a lot. We have read a lot. Last night, we were reading in chapter 4 and chapter 5. And chapter 4, we kind of pulled out that ministering, right? So, the Lord was giving instructions through Moses to Aaron and the Levites regarding the temple. And what God has done is he's kind of separated the Levites out to be able to handle different things in regards to the tabernacle. So some are in charge of the Ark of the Covenant and the testimony that's inside of it. Some are required to carry different things for the tent. Some are required for different pieces, right? So we have all of these responsibilities being broken up. But the one word that we pulled out, and our first time, or at least my first time recognizing this word, I don't know if this is the first time it appeared in the Bible, but my first time recognizing the word minister was in this passage. And so we pulled out that word because we have an idea of what ministry looks like today, or what it means to have a gift from God or an assignment from God, or to speak to God's people. We have an idea of what that looks like, and it is a very it can be, let's just say it can be. Sorry, y'all. It can be a very high and mighty idea, right? So we tend to get caught up in today's society. And I'm not just saying like when it comes to God, right? I'm saying like in society, period, right? We have this idea of what it means to have titles and prestige and, oh, I'm a this and I'm a that, and call me, Dr. So and so, right? Like we have all of these ideas around titles and prestige and all this other things. And what we were pulling out of chapter 4 is related to chapter 4 in Numbers, verse, where was it? Oh yeah, verse 47. And I'm just going to read the whole thing. So from 30 years old and upward, even unto 50 years old, and everyone that came to do the service of the ministry. So this is a part of the count, right? Because Numbers is all about, or not all about, right? But the biggest portion of Numbers in the beginning is about God's people being counted up, right? So they're literally like taking census and taking a poll to see how many people are there, right? So that's why we've got, that age range at the top. But this is the part I want us to pay attention to in verse 47, where it says, everyone that came to do the service of ministry and the service of the burden in the tabernacle of the congregation. So what we pulled from that is that the higher up you go in God, as far as assignments and talents and gifts and all of these things, the more you are in service. And that service is an assignment or a burden or a responsibility, right? We're kind of interchanging that, right? Because it's like it's a responsibility, but it's a burden. And I like the word burden is used here, because having an assignment from God or a gift from God or a talent from God is important and almost a little on the dangerous side, because if you're not careful with God's people, if you're not careful to make sure that God receives the glory, if you're using your gift inappropriately, right, then you are responsible for that, right? So that's where the burden piece comes in. That is where that heaviness, that danger comes in, when you don't understand that you are in service of the burden or responsibility, but burden in the tabernacle, which means in God's church, of the congregation. So that means everybody, right? So your gift, your talent, your whatever God has blessed you with is not just for you. It's for the congregation. It's for his people. It's to help uplift his people, right? So that's what we put out of chapter 4, which was so important, because we live in this like hyper individualized society right now, right? Where everything is about me, and building a monument to myself and my brand and my life and my truth and my, right? So that tickles our ears in a way that some might not like, because you're busy finding yourself when you should be busy doing God's work for God's people in God's church. So that's what we pulled out of chapter 4. And in chapter 5 was an interesting chapter, but what we pulled out of chapter 5 is that anything done in the dark comes to the light. So if you think that you're hiding, if you think that you're running, anything that you do in the dark is going to come to the light. Because even if the people around you don't know, even if your community don't know, or if you shut yourself out, or you call yourself in a period of isolation, which basically means you have no checks and balances, no accountability, no wise counsel, no nothing, right? So you're not doing what God says to do in here, in a period of isolation, because that's not called for in here. In this book, we've read about checks and balances, accountability, having wise counsel, and making sure that we're in service to God's people. So if you ever find yourself off balance, and you're trying to hide or be discreet or whatever it is, doesn't matter who around you does not know about it. God knows about it. And that's the most important thing. And there is judgment for you. Now, whether it happens immediately or 5 years from now or down the road, there is judgment for you. So that's what we pulled out of chapter 5. So we are going to continue to read and continue to go through Numbers. We are right now at Numbers chapter 6. Numbers chapter 6, verse 1. So this is where we're going to pick up reading, and I'm just going to go ahead and get started. 1 second, y'all. 1 second. Uh-huh. All right. So let's go ahead and get started. Numbers chapter 6, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, when either man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord, we're going to pause. We're going to pause. Right at the second verse, we're going to go ahead and take a pause. So the one thing that I wanted to bring out in verse 2 is the Nazarite. So I went ahead and looked this up because that kind of pricked my mind a little bit, because of course Jesus is referred to as Jesus of Nazareth. And so I'm like, okay, well, what is a Nazarite? And so looking up a Nazarite, the root of Nazarite when it comes to the Hebrew is Nazir, and it means to separate, right? And I thought that that was very fitting for Jesus, because Jesus' life was a very separate life, not in the fact that he didn't have community, not in that fact, not in the fact that he was by himself, but it was a very separate life because he was so consecrated to God, because he was so holy, because he was without sin, because he did not live like the rest. He did not pray like the rest. He did not walk like the rest. He did not, his prayers and his, of course, him being 100% man and 100% God also meant that his power was on a whole different level, right? So I just wanted to call that out, that is the definition of that word. It is to be separate. And so when we hear Nazarite, or when we hear Nazarite, which is also a place as well, right? Jesus of Nazareth. But when we hear that, I just thought it was fitting that that is the place that he was from. That is the root word of the place that he was from. And we see that separateness. We see that holiness. We see that consecration, right? So as we continue to read, it's going to give us a breakdown of what it means to vow a vow unto the Lord. So Numbers chapter 6, verse 3 is where we're going to pick up right now. He shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar of wine or vinegar of strong drink. Neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. Right? And so that vinegar is just that fermentation process, right? Verse 4. All the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree. So no grapevine, from the kernels even to the husk, all the days of the vow of his separation. So for however long that person is vowing this vow to God. All the days of the vow of his separation. Hold on, y'all. Y'all know these ain't the right glasses. So let's just, okay. Thank God. Oh my goodness, it's so much better. Okay. All the days of the vow of his separation, there shall no razor come upon his head until the days be fulfilled in which he separateth himself unto the Lord. He shall be holy, and shall let the locks of his hair of his head grow. So keep that in mind, that as you're vowing a vow to the Lord, then that also corresponds to how you keep your hair, which most of us, if everybody hasn't heard, that's fine, but a lot of us may have heard of the story, or I don't want to call it a story because that makes it sound fictional, but most of us have heard of the life of Samson, right? Some of us may have heard of the life of Samson, and in the life of Samson, he kept his hair long, and that was a representation of his strength. That wasn't where his strength came from. His strength came from God, but it just was a representation, a physical representation of his strength. So we want to keep the things in mind that we're reading in these first 5 books, which are the most important books um, for the Jewish faith, right? These are the most important books for the Jewish faith. These are the 5 books that Jesus was challenged on in the New Testament. So we need to make sure that we understand where these challenges are coming from, why Jesus responded the way he did, why when he was preaching, he said, "You've heard it said X, Y, and Z," or dot, 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 we'll fill in a blank, right? But I say, so we can kind of have an understanding when we get there of what Jesus is talking about and what the Pharisees is talking about when they keep coming to him saying, "Well, what about this? Well, what about that? Well, what about this?" This is what they're challenging him on. And this is the part that everybody want to skip. Right? So then you get to the story of Jesus and you don't have context, right? So we need this part so we can understand context for everything else that's about to happen, right? And also for context for those of us who are just super nerds like myself. Um we also want to understand that these first 5 books are the books of the Torah as well, right? So that is the book that or those are the books, right? That is the collection of books. We have 66, they have 5, right? So that is the collection of books that the Jewish faith based their faith off of, right? And we kind of went over that with a lot of the holidays that they celebrate at the end of Leviticus. We went over that. So we're building context, right? Because we need to understand who God is, how God established his covenant, the original covenant with his people. Okay, extra, we on a nerd kick today. I'm loving this. I'm loving this. Which we talk about covenant, and we've actually gone over the definition of covenant. The books of the Bible are separated into 2 sections. The First Testament and the Old Testament and the New Testament, which basically means testament. The definition of testament is covenant, right? Covenant, definition of that, contract, a binding sign, right? So this is the old contract. And then when we get to the New Testament, we will cover the new contract. And we will be able to understand, well, what are our contractual obligations, right? As Christians, what does it mean to follow Christ, right? What should we expect? It is expectations, it is standards, right? When you read a contract for anything, there are standards, right? For my sports fans out there, right? When the football players get their contracts, it is standards, it is requirements, it is expectations. We expect you to be healthy, we expect this, we expect that, we expect you to show up at all games of whatever sport you pick, right? If it's baseball, we expect you to show up at all 200 games. You know what I mean? Like there it's a list of expectations, right? This is what I expect of you, right? We expect you to be on your best behavior. Don't wear no other logos unless they Nike or Under Armour. Don't, do not, right? All of this stuff is in their contract, right? And then there is a reward, right? And we can expect the same thing as we're reading through the contracts. We can see the expectations, the standards, the do's, the don'ts, right? Just like sports players when they get their contracts, right? We can see our contractual obligations as we follow Christ, what those expectations are, those standards are. And then we know how to pattern ourselves. We know what is expected of us so that we can receive our reward. And what is our reward? Y'all know my favorite verse, but we're going to go back to it anyway because I love it. We're going to go back to it anyway because I love it. Genesis chapter what? Genesis chapter 15, verse 1. And we're going to like chop it in half and we're going to read the second part where he says, "Fear not, Abraham, I am thy shield." Not I, God, right, is saying this, right? I'm patting my chest because I'm excited. But God is saying to Abraham, "I am thy shield and thy exceeding great reward." So that is what we can expect as our reward, right? Okay, and we already talked about the character of God and all that, or not all that he is, but what we have discovered him to be at this time and the love that he has and everything good and wonderful. So we're going to continue to read past that, but just kind of giving some context for what we're doing here in Numbers, why we're reading Numbers, what you should be looking out for, and the dots that you should be connecting. Even though these are 66 individual books, we are still following one family, right? We're following one family throughout their generations, understanding how God worked with them, how he interacted with them, how he showed himself to this family and set a standard of love and unity and everything good and wonderful, right? That list can go on and on. But we need to make sure that we're connecting the dots as we're reading this. So when you see Nazarite all the way back in Numbers chapter 6, verse 2, you can fast forward a couple thousand years and your ears can be perked when we get to that section that, oh yes, I remember that from Numbers, when you hear Jesus of Nazareth, right? And you're like, oh, Nazareth, the root word is Nazir, which means separate, right? And it makes sense for that definition. Everything that God does is intentional, right? Everything that God does is intentional. All of these are connected. Uh, um, all of these words and everything that we're pulling out in these definitions, they mean something. So we want to make sure that we're connecting the dots so we understand the whole picture of what God is trying to show us. I'm being very careful not to say the whole of God, because you can't understand the whole of God, but you can understand what he's trying to show us. You can understand the whole of what he's trying to show us, right? Okay, so let's continue to read. So we are in so we talked about the hair. Okay, verse 6. All the days that he separateth himself unto the Lord, he shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for his father, or for his mother, or for his brother, or for his sister when they die, because the consecration of his God is upon his head. This is sounding very similar to the consecration of the priests, right? That we just read about. And to be very specific, Aaron and his sons as the priests, right? We are verse 9. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he hath defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. On the 7th day shall he shave it. And on the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtles or 2 young pigeons to the priest to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering and the other for a burnt offering, and make atonement for him. For he that ain't what it say, child. For that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. And he shall consecrate unto the Lord the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering. But the days that were before shall be lost. So he's got to start over. Okay? He's got to start over. And that's okay. That's okay, right? Because if you have in your heart that you say, you know what, God, I want to give you, I just want to straight up give you the next 6 months of my life, right? I just want to try you out. I just want to understand more about you. You know what? I'm going to drop my distractions, right? And what if you just say to God, God, I'm going to drop my distractions for 6 months, for 3 months, for 30 days, for 30 days. I'm going to drop the distractions, and I am going to vow my vow to you, right? I'm going to investigate. I'm going to start my own investigation, doggone it. Right? Right? Like they say all the time, when when something bad happened and they say, oh, we're investigating, right? Okay, well, start your own investigation. How about that? Right? So you start your own investigation. You're like, I'm gonna vow this vow. I'm gonna separate myself. I'm gonna get rid of the distractions. I'm going to dedicate myself, my mind, my heart, my soul, my body to God. And I'm just going to I'm going to do a trial run. I'm going to do a trial period, right? And understand a little bit more about God. I'm going to seek him a little differently than I've been seeking him before. It's hard to seek God and scroll Instagram at the same time, right? It's hard to seek God and and y'all kind of doing a whole lot of other stuff on the side. It's a whole lot of coping mechanisms that y'all just, kind of like tossing in there. It's hard to do both. It's hard to do both. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to see God without trust. How can you trust somebody that you don't know? How can you trust somebody that you don't know? So I'm going to take 30 days, 3 months, 6 months, a year, whatever. I'm going to take this time to set this aside so I can get to know you. I want to vow my vow to you. I'm going to just take it one day at a time. Yesterday went well. Let's see what today brings, right? Right? So let's just say that, right? Because I want y'all to understand that this can still be done today. You can still vow this. You can still vow a vow. You can still say, you know what, God, I'm gonna give you 30 days. I'm gonna try this out. This is new to me. I want to understand you. I want to hear you a little better. I want to have a deeper love for you. I want to do my own investigation, right? I want to do my own investigation. I got questions. What greater place to take your questions than to God? He ain't gonna judge you, right? He got the answers. What greater place to take your questions than to God, right? So let's just say you're in this consecration. You're sorry, I'm excited. Right? Let's say you in this consecration. Sorry, y'all. My bangs is looking real crazy. I'm trying to fix them on the slide, but let's just go ahead and take 5 seconds. Gosh darn it. Okay. I was trying to be subtle with it, but skip the subtlety. Okay. So anyway, thanks, y'all. Y'all don't be judging me or nothing like that. I appreciate it. So you take this consecration, you take this time out, and let's say you get distracted. Let's say something happens and you just cuss somebody out. Let's just say you said you wasn't going to cuss and that one word slip out. Let's just say you said you wasn't going to go there, but you ended up there and you like, doggone it. I did it. I didn't mess up. Can I tell you something? Start over. He said you can. He said, go ahead, bring your trespass offering, which means go ahead and acknowledge what you've done and acknowledge that you've missed the mark. This was the mark. This was the standard. And you just kind of was like, oh, you know, you know what I mean? You was like, right? Like, like you was almost there and you was like, what? He was like, what's that over there? Squirrel. You know what I mean? You got distracted. So, so let me just start over. Let me just encourage you today. Start over. I know you messed up. I know you're like, I missed it. Start over, right? You got distracted. It's okay. You was like that. You was like Doug from Up, the movie. You was like, squirrel, and you got distracted. It's okay. Right? I need you to start over. I need you to start over, please, because he said you can. Go ahead and acknowledge it. Change your heart, change your mind, and change your actions. We're going to do this one more time. We're going to try again, y'all. We're going to run it back. It says you can. God said you can. Verse 12, and he shall consecrate unto the Lord the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering. We don't bring lambs no more, but you got that connection back. That's why Jesus came, right? But the days that were before shall be lost. You know what? Don't worry about that back there. Don't worry about it, sweetheart. It don't really count, but just go like, you know what I mean? Like, don't worry about that back there. It's not like we're gonna move past it. You know what I'm saying? So don't even worry about that. We're gonna keep going. We're going to keep trucking, right? That's going to be lost because your separation was defiled. You got a little distracted. You was Doug from the movie Up and you was like, squirrel. You know what I mean? Like we get it. It's okay. It happens. God acknowledged that it happens. He acknowledged it. He just said, like, come back. Come on back. Come on back. Let's try it again. Let's run it back. Okay? So I hope that blessed somebody. Just how do you get over feeling like you've messed up too much? God, you're not your judgment for what you did is not greater than God's judgment for what you did. God said you're forgiven. So if the judge pull down the gavel and say case dismissed, you can't go to the judge and be like, well, judge, I don't think you're right. I don't think the case is dismissed because you don't understand how bad I messed up. Right? You're acquitted. You don't go to jail. Run. Run out the courtroom. Go. Hurry up before he changes his mind. Right? Like if the judge tells you you good to go, don't do that again. You don't go up to the judge and be like, well, judge, I don't think you heard the lawyer right. You run out the courtroom and you duck the police next time, right? You being real safe, you driving real good. You know what I'm saying? you slow down now. You know what I'm saying? You look both ways for you cross the street and you in your car. You know what I mean? It's not even necessary, but you're doing it anyway. You just being extra careful. That is how you get rid of that mindset of, well, y'all don't know how bad I messed up. If you go to court for messing up, you don't go to the judge after he acquits you and be like, well, judge, I want a ticket. I want 5 years in jail, please. You don't do that. Right? So don't do it to God. God said, case dismissed. So what you do is you run the other way real fast. Go that way. Hurry up. Right? So that is how you get out of that mindset of, shoot, but I messed up too bad. No, you didn't. You good, child. You went to God, you changed your mind, you changed your heart, you changed your actions, right? You asked for forgiveness. Child, run. 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 Hurry up. I'm gonna hold the door open for you. Right? And then after that, you just drive a little safer. You try not to get more tickets. You watch yourself before your temper get out of hand and somebody dialing 911 and they just pop up on you, right? You don't want that no more. So you checking yourself and you because child, I almost caught a case. You don't even understand. Last time I told the girl, yeah, and you can't do that to me. And you was shaking your head and you was like, I wish a ninja would. And you was doing all of the things and had all of the cuss words. Okay, and I got you in trouble. So don't do that no more. So that's how you get over that mindset. You need to start over. Run the other way and start over and just be just like that much more careful. Just be like more careful. Verse 13. This is the law of the Nazarite. When the days of his separation are fulfilled, he shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and he shall offer his offering unto the Lord. One he lamb, which means male lamb, right? Of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and one ewe lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and one ram without blemish for peace offerings, and a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread anointed with oil, and their meat offering, not animal product meat, but nutritionally dense. That's what meat means, nutritionally dense grain. Okay. Where are we at, y'all? Shall bring to the offering. Dang, child, I really lost it like that. Oh, okay. Verse 15. Meat offering and their drink offerings. And the priest shall bring them before the Lord and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering, and he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord with a basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meat offering and his drink offering. And the Nazarite shall shave his head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation and put it in the fire. So, take your bad habit, shave that off, put it in the fire, burn it up. Don't do that no more. Right? I'm just relating it for y'all. Because Jesus was so gracious. I was gonna say gracious and kind at the same time, and it came out grind. Jesus was so gracious, so kind, so loving. God is so wonderful, right? He is so understanding that he died on the cross for our sins. So we don't have to go around finding cattle and pigeon and turtle doves and stuff like that, right? We can go to God and give him our offering, right? We can give him our sin offering. We can acknowledge we missed the mark. We got distracted, right? And then you're required to start over. Shave your head, not literally. Not literally. I don't want y'all walking around bald, right? But shave your head. Shave the bad habit. Shave the cussing. Shave the screaming and hollering and yelling. Shave the bad habits, the coping mechanisms, right? The addiction devices. Shave them. Shave them off. Shave them. Shave them off, right? Shave off the sin and start over. Start over, right? And the priest shall take the side and shoulder of the ram and one unleavened cake out of the basket and one unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazarite after the hair of his separation is shaven. And the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. This is holy for the priest, with the wave breast and the heave shoulder. After that, the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazarite who hath vowed, and of his offering unto the Lord for his separation, beside that his hand shall get, according to the vow which he vowed. So he must do after the law of his separation, right? Verse 22, and the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, on this wise, so like this, right? Ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, the Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. So that's a beautiful way to end chapter 6, because God has been so gracious with the children of Israel. The children of Israel, child, they've been going through a lot, okay? They've been doing a lot. They've been going through a lot. And God has been so gracious with the children of Israel. And God, he just always just keeps extending his blessings. He just keeps extending his love. He just keeps extending his mercy. And y'all should take a hint from that. Not so that y'all can be like, oh, cool, I can keep screwing up and then like God got me. No. That's not what I mean. On the same token, we are humans, right? The human condition is hard out here, right? It is hard out here. God understands that there are going to be distractions, there are going to be temptations, there's going to be growing pains, right? There's going to be times even where you feel like, you know what, I'm jamming as a Christian. I'm doing all of the things. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just like, I'm meeting all of the measures, right? And then you know what's going to happen? Soon as you get there, soon as you get comfortable, you know what's going to happen? God going to stretch you out. He going to stretch you out. He going to be like, all right, let's get to the next level then. Let's get to the next level, right? So there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be, it's going to be a little bit of stretching out, right? God is going to be challenging you. You're going to have to meet new standards, new heights, new levels. And I'm not talking levels as in, we gotta address that mindset of what we think levels are. We're thinking hierarchy, not thinking hierarchy. I'm thinking depth, right? Like you get down up in there, right? Like you got to shave off the nasties, right? Like when you cleaning and you got to just keep taking off layers and layers and layers to get down to what that thing used to be. Y'all ever, I don't know, Y'all ever been at your grandma's house and you got to polish the silver, or with your mama or something, and you polishing the silver or you polishing the brass? We used to do that back in the day. I don't know. I don't know if y'all still do that, but you would polish it because they would have like brass or silver, plates and chargers, the little set, the dining sets and stuff from back in the day. Am I dating myself? And and it would tarnish, you know what I'm saying? The oxygen get to it, hit it a little different, and then it start turning. And you got to keep polishing it and polishing it and polishing it and polishing it to get back to that silver, to that shine, to that glow, right? For y'all new people that was just born it, for y'all new people that was just born it, you ever have a really nice pair of Jordans that you just messed them suckers up? Like they full of dirt. They got that little piece hanging to the left, and you just got to clean them to get them. You got to restore them. You got to get them back to when you first bought them, right? Y'all can picture that. So that's for my new people, right? So yeah, I took it back on y'all. I took it back. Y'all know. You gotta take it back. But you gotta wear away, that all of that old, right? So that you can get to the shiny, so that you can get to where it's looking brand new. And that's what I mean by levels. A lot of times we hear today levels and we think, oh, we going up. No. You're going down. You're going down into the soul. You're going to clean that out, scrub that layer. And then once you're done scrubbing that layer, you got another layer because it's not shiny enough. We just read God like shiny. We just read all up in Exodus and in some of Leviticus where he said, cover everything in gold, dip it in gold. God like shiny. So if you ain't shiny, he going to keep on polishing you down till you get to the shiny, right? So anyway, that's what we need to be thinking about when it comes to that chapter, when it comes to chapter 6, right? And understanding that God is going to keep stretching us. He's going to keep taking us through these different levels. He's going to keep, expanding his expectations for us. That's why we have an Old Testament and a New Testament, because the expectations have expanded. Not the first thing Jesus said. It was a little down the line, but he started saying, you have heard it said, but I say, right? So he took it to the next level, and so God is going to continue to take it to the next level. And that's going to require his grace. You're going to need his grace to get you there, right? And we see that God is extending that grace constantly to the children of Israel, whether they deserve it or not. God is extending that grace. He's extending that grace, and he's trying to stretch them and get them to that next level of depth. Okay. All right, cool. So we are in Numbers chapter 7. So we're going to pick up, yes, I decrease so he may increase. I love that. We're going to pick up Numbers chapter 7, verse 1. Chapter 7 is a long chapter. So yeah, chapter 7 is a long chapter, but we're going to get through this. So y'all rock with me. Y'all have y'all patient caps on. And also, I'm going to need y'all to have grace, because there's a whole lot of names in chapter 7 that we going to get through. We going to do it. And I see one already that I'm like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. But we going to get through it. Okay. Numbers chapter 7, verse 1. All right. So let's check it out. And it came to pass on the day that Moses had fully set up the tabernacle and had anointed it and sanctified it and all the instruments thereof, both the altar and the vessels thereof, and had anointed them and sanctified them, that the princes of Israel, heads of the house of their fathers, who were princes of the tribes and were over them that were numbered, offered. They brought their offering before the Lord. Okay, so before we get into these offerings, because each of the 12 tribes are about to bring their offerings, there's going to be one tribe that brings an offering every day. So we're about to go through 12 days of Christmas. On the 12th day of Christmas. No, just playing. We're about to go through 12 offerings, right? Sorry, y'all know my brain be doing what it want to do. And I want y'all to pay attention. I'm going to keep bringing this up. As long as we're reading about the children of Israel in this state, I'm going to keep bringing it up. I want y'all to pay attention to how much wealth the children of Israel have. These people were slaves 2 years ago. 1, 2. 1, 2. 2 years ago, these people were slaves, and now they boiling out of control. Just want y'all to pay attention. Just want y'all to understand that this is also, we're only 2 years in. I want y'all to also pay attention to the fact that this is the third offering. They already gave 134 years, over 75,000 in our money today in USD on their second offering. And the first offering was a bunch of money too. We had counted that up and I can't find that right now, but it was a bunch. Not only was it a bunch, they melted it down. They didn't even need it. 5 shekels a piece. Anybody 20 and up, they just melted it down to build the tabernacle. That's how much they had. That is how good God is. That is how much we can appreciate the fact that God redeems. Doesn't matter what you've been through. Doesn't matter how long you suffered. Doesn't matter. God redeems. And we see that. So just clock it for me, because this is the third offering. We're 2 years in, and these folks are so rich. We're about to do the third offering, and they just about to just give of their free will. Just give, just of their hearts. Yep. So we're talking about the Bible. We're reading the King James Version of the Holy Bible, and we are in Numbers chapter 7, and we're getting ready to read. We're getting ready to start at verse 3, right? Verse 3. And they brought their offerings before the Lord, 6 covered wagons and 12 oxen, a wagon for 2 of the princes, and for each one an ox. And they brought them before the tabernacle. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, take it to them, that they may be able, I'm sorry, that ain't what it say, child. That they may be to do the service of the tabernacle of the congregation, and thou shalt give them unto the Levites, to every man according to his service. And Moses took the wagons of the oxen and gave them unto the Levites. 2 wagons and 4 oxen he gave unto the sons of Gershon according to their service. And 4 wagons and 8 oxen he gave unto the sons of, child, my dad just told me what this was yesterday. Merari, child. We're going to stick to Merari. I'm going to still say it wrong until I can get it right. I'm going to practice, y'all. I promise. Merari, according to the service, under the hand of Ithamar, the sons of Aaron the priest. But unto the sons of Kohath he gave none, because the service of the sanctuary belonging to them was that they should bear upon their shoulders, right? And the princes offered for dedicating of the altar in the day that it was anointed. Even the princes offered their offering before the altar. And the Lord said unto Moses, they shall offer their offering, each prince on his day, right? So we got the 12 children of Israel. Yeah, the 12 children of Israel correlate to each of the tribes, and they were born in a certain order. So they're going to offer in that same order, one at a time, one each day. Okay. And they shall offer their offerings, each prince on his day, for the dedicating of the altar. And he that offered his offering the first day was Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, of the tribe of Judah. And his offering was 1 silver charger. The weight thereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary. Both of them were full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering. Remember, meat is grain. 1 spoon of 10 shekels of gold full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Nashon, the son of Amminadab. On the second day, Nathaniel, the son of Zuar, prince of Issachar, did offer. He offered for his offering 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels. Y'all, that's a lot. That's just a lot, okay? 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, 1 spoon of gold of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Nathaniel, the son of Zuar. I definitely think that the Days of Christmas song came from here. I just do. I just think it came from here. Okay, we're going to continue to read. My brain is doing that thing again. All right. Verse 25. His offering, nope, that ain't right. Verse 24. On the third day, Eliab, the son of Helon, prince of the children of Zebulun, did offer. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace, child, read the words, peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Eliab, the son of Helon. On the fourth day, Elisur, the son of Shedor, prince of the children of Reuben, did offer. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight of 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meat offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Elisur, the son of Shedor. On the fifth day, Shelumiel, the son of Zurishaddai, the prince of the children of Simeon, did offer. His offering was 1 silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl, one silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Shelumiel, the son of Zurishaddai. On the sixth day, not the seventh, we ain't skipping ahead. On the sixth day, Eliasaph, the son of Deuel, prince of the children of Gad, offered. His offering was 1 silver charger of the weight of 130 shekels, 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them mingled with fine flour. Mingled? That ain't what it say, child. Slow down. Both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering. 1 golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense. 1 young bullock, 1 ram, 1 lamb of the first year for a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats for a sin offering. And for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Eliasaph, the son of Deuel. On the 11th day, Elishama, the son of Ammihud, prince of the children of Ephraim, offered. His offering was one silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, one silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meat offering, one golden spoon of 10 shekels, full of incense, one young bullock, one ram, one lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, one kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings? Glad you asked. 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Elishama, the son of Ammihud. On the 8th day, offered Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur, prince of the children of Manasseh. His offering was one silver charger, the weight of 130 shekels, one silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, one golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, one young bullock, one ram, one lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, one kid of goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings? Child, I'm so glad you asked. 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Gamaliel, the son of Pedazur. On the 9th day, Abidan, the son of Gideoni, prince of the children of Benjamin, offered. His offering was one silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, one silver bowl of 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, though, just in case y'all was wondering. Both of them full of fine flour mingled with the oil for a meat offering, one golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, one young bullock, one ram, one lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, one kid of the goats for a sin offering, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, you ask? Okay. 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Abidan, the son of Gideoni. On the 10th day, Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai, prince of the children of Dan, offered. His offering was one silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, one silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, one golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, one young bullock, one ram, one lamb after the first year for a burnt offering, one kid of the goats for a sin offering. And for a sacrifice of peace offerings, you ask? 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Ahiezer, the son of Ammishaddai. On the 11th day, we are on the 11th child, y'all. On the 11th child of Israel, on his tribes. And who is the prince? Well, I'm so glad you asked. Pagiel, the son of Achran, prince of the children of Asher, offered. His offerings was one silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, one silver bowl on the 70 shekels, after the shekel of the sanctuary, just in case you was wondering. Both of them of fine flour mingled with oil for a meat offering, one golden spoon, because we don't do silver spoons, golden spoons of 10 shekels full of incense, one young bullock, one ram, one lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, one kid of the goats for a sin offering. And for a sacrifice of peace offerings, you ask? 2 oxen. I'm having too much fun. 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Pagiel, the son of Ochran. On the 12th day, Ahira, the son of Anan, prince of the children of Naphtali, offered. His offering was one silver charger, the weight whereof was 130 shekels, one silver bowl of 70 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour, mingled with oil for a meat offering, one golden spoon of 10 shekels full of incense, one young bullock, one ram, one lamb of the first year for a burnt offering, one kid of goats for a sin offering, of course, and for a sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 he-goats, 5 lambs of the first year. This was the offering of Ahira, the son of Anan. This was the dedication of the altar in the day when it was anointed by the princes of Israel. 12 chargers of silver, 12 silver bowls, 12 spoons of gold, each charger of silver weighting and 130 shekels, each bowl 70. All the silver vessels weighed 2,400 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary, because that's how rich my people were. Okay. The golden spoons were 12, full of incense, weighing 10 shekels apiece after the shekel of the sanctuary. All of the gold of the spoons was 120 shekels. The oxen, all the oxen for the burnt offering were 12 bullocks, the rams 12, the lambs of the first year 12, with their meat offerings, and the kid of the goats for sin offerings 12, and all the oxen for the sacrifice of the peace offerings were 20 and 4 bullocks, the rams 60, and he-goats 60, the lambs of the first year 60. This was the dedication of the altar. After that, it was anointed. And when Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation to speak with him, child, hold on, pause. Pause on verse 89. Pause on verse 89. We're not going to read that just yet. First of all, we need to acknowledge. We need to acknowledge how rich my people were. Y'all reading my history? Y'all see how I'm just claiming these people? Y'all reading this? Because we all got people now, right? We all got people. He said, what was it? Matthew chapter 20, verse 18. Verse 18 or 19. He said to all, no, not, I'm tripping. Yeah, verse 18 and 19. He said to all nations. He said all nations, right? All nations. So we all up in there. But y'all reading my history, y'all see how rich these folks was. Y'all see how God didn't leave them hanging. He said, I know y'all suffered. I'm going to make sure y'all got it. First of all, this is an offering. This ain't all they got. We didn't just add up everything that they had. This ain't everything. This ain't everything. Thousands of weights of shekels, and they still got more. Oh, clock it, because they got food too, by the way. Did y'all clock that? They got flour. They got flour. So they got food, everything. And God said, don't touch it. I'm going to give you manna. He said, save it. Save that little. Y'all read what I'm reading? Y'all reading what I'm reading? Child. You stuck on the rams, lambs, hogs, you name it. Y'all reading what I'm reading? This is incredible. Incredible. God the Redeemer. We ain't done with God the Redeemer. We ain't gonna never be done with God the Redeemer. He's the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow, and forever. Right? So we ain't done with God the Redeemer, but this is quite the introduction, if I might say so myself. He's convinced me. I'm convinced. God the Redeemer. Look at everything that the children of Israel had to give. And their peace offerings. Their peace offerings, which God said, don't give it if you ain't willing. So not only were they willing, of willing hearts, but they gave plenty. Because I'm going to tell you what, a ram and an oxen and goats and lambs, all of that's still expensive today. That's still expensive. There's still a lot. All of that gold and silver that they collected is still a lot. It's still a lot today. God the Redeemer. We can't We can't skip over that. We can't skip over that. Now we about to read verse 89. And then we gonna pass out. Because verse 89 just, okay. Okay, let's read it. Let's read it. Okay, sure. Okay, I hear you yelling at me. Let's read it. Let's read it. Y'all want to know so bad? Me too. Let's read it. Together. Y'all ready? We're going to read this real slow. And when Moses was gone into the tabernacle of the congregation to speak with him, right? Then he heard the voice. He heard the voice of one speaking unto him from the mercy seat, from off of the mercy seat that was upon the ark of the testimony. Y'all got that? From between the two cherubims, and he spake unto him. Let me tell you why that's a heck of a way to end the night. Let me tell you why. Y'all, who's the mercy seat? Can somebody please? I'm going to give y'all a minute. I don't usually give y'all a minute because I'd be too excited and I just keep talking. I'm going to give y'all a minute. Does anybody know who the mercy seat is? Anybody want to throw it in the comments real quick of who the mercy seat is? Anybody want to know who the mercy seat is? Y'all, Jesus. Thank you. Y'all, I'm telling you, I was reading this earlier. Do you know I closed my Bible and threw it? I threw it across the couch. I said, I can't take it. Y'all. I'm telling you, I closed my Bible. I said, ain't no way. Ain't no way. I mean, there is a way because it's documented history. But I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Like the slang version, like the ain't no way. That's a heck of a way to end the night. Jesus is the mercy seat. I just wanted y'all to know that, just in case. From between the two cherubims. We just had Easter. Y'all know them two cherubims was in the tomb. Y'all know. We just had Easter. Y'all, am I the only one that's this excited? And he spake unto him. Don't skip ahead. No, heck no. Don't skip ahead. No, you stay right here with us. You don't get to have fun without us. Skip that. Don't skip ahead. No, you don't get to have fun without us. No, we're gonna save chapter 8 for tomorrow. When I tell y'all I'm beaming. I beam every time God say the scriptures say, and God spake unto him and said. I just be like, you know, like how y'all be at the concerts when y'all see y'all favorite celebrity. That's how I be with God. I'd be like, somebody fan me. Y'all. So I am live every weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern. 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that gives my Central folk and my West Coast folk, that give y'all my Pacific time, folks, time to go ahead and file on in. This is an after work thing. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're still driving home from work, you got to, click it, turn it on in the car. Right. I can't wait to pick up. Y'all, I can't. 6 p.m. your time. Oh, dang. Oh, yeah. You over there. You all the way over there. So you might be driving home, but just in case, because I don't want you turning on TikTok while you drive. That's kind of crazy. But this is also streaming live as we speak on YouTube. right? So we, it's both of ours, it's just at my house, but it's we have a YouTube channel together that is called Disciples on Purpose, right? So you can log into the Disciples on Purpose YouTube channel and you can listen to it just like you'd be listening to your regular podcast, right? So we do have all of the Bible studies. They save every night. As soon as this is over and I click the button on this laptop, it saves instantly, right? So I'm live and then it saves instantly. So if you want to go back, you want to catch up, oh, I ain't gonna be able to make it Wednesday night. Let's say you have service on Wednesday night or you gotta go pick up the kids or something. I don't know. That's fine. Everything's on YouTube. You can pick up and catch up whenever you get ready. So YouTube is sitting there waiting for us. I do have to come out with part 3 of the biblical marriage. Y'all bear with me, please. It is a lot. It's a lot. I'm getting through it. I promise. But we're gonna put it up there. I got you, Rashad. I got you. First of all, my mama was like, you did not respond to Rashad yesterday when he said, and I was like, oh, I didn't see it. I'm sorry. I really didn't see it. But I got you. That is going to be up. It's going to be up. It is going to be up before the end of the week. I am going to really sit down and dedicate time to it. For some reason, part 3 is so long and it's taken me a long time to get through it and edit it right. Cause y'all know, I'm putting the scriptures up there at the same time so you can read it. And, I got to edit out all my, my crazy moments, when my brain just go left, I got to edit all of that out. So we getting there. So I'm gonna have it up before the end of the week. I am going to dedicate to that because I want to make sure I'm being obedient, y'all. I can't just be halfway obedient and then fall off. Y'all got to hold me accountable, right? So I'm gonna continue in obedience. I'm going to post part 3. That's going to be the last part of that, and then we're going to move into the other things that God has for us that come directly from the Bible, right? So because God has me on this kick where it's just it's not a kick. I shouldn't say that because it's not a fashion or a fad or a temporary. It is use my word, right? He even told me not to argue with folks online. Holy Spirit said, don't argue with folks online. If there's something on there that you don't agree with, just post a scripture and walk away. Don't argue. Don't go back and forth. Don't be posting paragraphs. Post a scripture and keep on going with your life. So that is what we're going to focus on as disciples. Everything that we should be talking about should come right from here. All of our points about life, we shouldn't have no opinion, no trauma responses. If you want to say something to somebody, it should come right from here. Because as disciples, as those who are learning, right, this is the basis, this is the foundation that we stand on. So we need to stand on this. All right, y'all. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Verse 89 blew me away. This is what, the second time we've seen Jesus in the Old Testament, or at least the second time I've clocked it. But just beautiful. Third time. Because in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Child, Jesus has always been here, but I'm really enjoying, I shouldn't say but, because I don't want it to sound like a counterintuitive thing. Jesus has always been here from the beginning because God is a Trinity. He is 3 parts of a whole, right? So Jesus has always been there, stop saying but. So I enjoy pulling out the different references to Jesus and the parts where he speaks. Because God is all one. He is one and the same. Particularly the mercy seat is Jesus. Oh, that is so beautiful. Okay, it's 10:15. I gotta wrap this up. I gotta land this plane. So we already mentioned the Disciples on Purpose channel. Go ahead and subscribe on YouTube, link in the bio, so that you can subscribe and you can always keep up with all of the Bible studies and everything that God is giving as far as different content for us to consume that comes directly from the Bible. We read the Holy Bible every single weeknight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And we are reading cover to cover, no skips. So we are going to eventually get through all 66 books of the Bible. And I am so excited. So excited. We are connecting the dots as we go through as well. I am reading from the King James Version and no other. So if you have a different version, don't worry. We're going to be breaking it down and we're going to be making sure that we all understand what the context is. So we're still going to all be on the same page. Don't worry about it. I got you. So the think piece for tonight, comes from chapter 7 was long, so we're going to go back. We're going to go back to chapter 6 for the think piece for tonight. Now, when we were reading in chapter 6, we were talking about consecrating to God, making a temporary vow to God, becoming a Nazirite, right? Becoming a Nazirite. This is a temporary vow to God to separate yourself, right? For however long you designate. It could be a week, it could be 30 days, it could be 3 months, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be more. I was watching something the other day. The lady said she dedicated herself for 7 years, right? It's up to you. Right? But give yourself a period of time to do your own personal investigation. Investigate God. Start an investigation. I urge you, because you're not going to come up short. Start an investigation. Start understanding who God is. Start reading about his character. Start looking into it. Get rid of the distractions, right? Start praying every single day. Be faithful. Same time every day. Same place. Same posture, right? Different, you might be saying different stuff, but just getting into that habit. Just dedicate. And if you mess up, start over. It's okay. It happens. I hold your hand and let you know, Pookie, it happens. Start over, right? Not just reading the Bible. Now, reading the Bible is super important because that's where a lot of people fail. But keep coming here, keep coming to the Bible studies. But do some, have some action behind it too. Change your habits. 30 days, 3 months, 6 months. Change your habits. Put God to the test. I guarantee you, you're not going to come up short. Do that dedication. Do that consecration. Separate yourself. Get rid of those distractions. Change your bad habits. For just a little bit. Just start there. And then and do it like 75 hard. Remember when everybody was doing 75 hard? When you do 75 hard, you have to start over if you don't drink your full gallon. If you miss walking that day or reading your 10 pages in the book, I remember 75 hard. I got it committed to memory, child. It traumatized me. Okay. If you miss your 10 pages or your gallon of water or your walk today or whatever it is, you have to start over. So don't tell me, dang, that's a lot. It ain't a lot because everybody did 75 hard. And I know you did because I was on Instagram watching y'all do it. Watching all y'all with sticky notes and posting on your stories and doing all of that stuff, right? Everybody did it. Y'all did it. I know you did it because I was watching you do it. So just like 75 hard, if you do 75 hard with God, if you miss a day, start over. I guarantee you, you're going to love who you are at the end. I guarantee you, you're going to love who he is at the end. I guarantee you. So that is the think piece for tonight. Do 75 hard with God. That is the think piece for tonight. Just give him a shot. Give him a try. Full on, full throttle, habit change, mindset change, environment change, distraction put to the side, everything, just like you do with 75 hard. I guarantee you, you'll love what did they say on the commercial? You love the way you look, something like that on the men's warehouse commercial suits. Y'all know what I'm saying. Don't be looking at me like that. All right. I love y'all with the love of Jesus. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Y'all have a great night. I got to wrap this thing up. We got to land this plane, baby. Y'all have a great night.